too.
Amen.
How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Hey guys.
Usually the first day I come to it. Yeah. You have the class, right? The class? I can't tell right now. The slider, when it changes your vision, like changes your facing. What numbers bring you closer together, and what?
Lower numbers closer together. Lower numbers closer together. I can't tell much difference in when I'm moving.
Yeah, the lower numbers don't have the big sliders closer together.
Okay. I can't even tell the difference. I used to be tell the difference a lot.
Hey, Wilson.
Cool. Yeah, he didn't post questions to you.
Hey, yo.
He posted the lecture. That's why I like it.
Hey everyone! Woo! Hey you all, welcome to the news and updates. Oh, how awesome to see you all. I'm Laurel, and muted next to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't get asked if we're ready. I just get told, and I'm just not quite. I just
sent you
spilled
a
the
message.
entire cup of coffee on my desk. And okay, I'm Donna, the other host here at News and Updates. Mark, the evil mastermind behind this weekly Allspace VR news show, is behind the camera bot live streaming to everyone out in the metaverse and beyond.
Are you okay, Donna?
Yeah.
The stories from behind the scenes of the news and updates from AltSpace. So first of all, we want to thank everyone for your support and the attendance last week. We all had such a great time and a great discussion with the AltSpace VR community and events team members, Lena and Q4Q. Wasn't that amazing? That was so much fun. We learned some wonderful insights and even more than we probably wanted to know. No, even more about the people we interact with regularly on AltSpace VR. What a treat. Thank you, Mark, for doing that, lining all that up.
Now, an update was released yesterday with a few tweaks to the AltSpace VR avatars based upon your feedback. The starting avatar now looks a little less masculine, still 5 years old, but a little less masculine. And the hats on the robots are designed to look a little more like the old robots. They've added a cat eyes variant on the robot hats. Ooh, so clothing has been adjusted to be more consistent in colors with each other, and they've fiddled with the ponytail so it works better with the hoodie, for those of you who are paying attention.
Weren't you all? And there's more updates are coming as AltSpace VR is listening and collecting feedback. Make sure you take time to check out the new feedback surveys channel in the official AltSpace VR Discord and let your thoughts be heard. This is an evolving process, so repeat the surveys. They didn't say you can't just do one, so repeat them after changes happen to continue to be heard. If you have a new opinion or something, do let them know.
Now, for all you event hosts out there, you will be thrilled to hear that front row is back. It was down for a couple of days as the dev team was working on a bug or two. They are continuing to work on it, but it is back working for the most part. So AltSpace VR was the first with this mirrored event space technology, allowing improved performance by dividing up the audience in mirrored event spaces to create scalable events up to thousands of attendees.
Fantastic. I'm so thrilled that it's back. They're still working on it. Also, hello to those of you that are coming into room 2. Last Monday, which is an example of front row, by the way. Last Monday, it was announced that the Mixer video by Microsoft was discontinued in AltSpace VR. I know, that's so sad. Used mostly for events, the transition back to the jukebox in native browser isn't much of a stretch for longtime users as we go backwards a little bit for a while. It's more challenging for the new users. But AltSpace VR is working on a new video player that should be more robust, stable, and make life much easier for events. We're looking forward to that.
Now, about those trolls and attackers, we remember those, right? The AltSpace VR developers and entire team met with experts recently to tackle these challenges from a variety of angles. We don't have the details, but here are some things you should know. Website registration will continue to be offline for a while as the team develops a more stringent web-based registration system that integrates into the VR-based system. It's more complex than we may think, so for now, all registrations happen only in-world for new users. Now, keep in mind, once you've created your account, you can still log on to the website and do everything as per normal. This only affects first time the actual creation of your user account, okay? So everything else beyond that is the same.
Exactly, thanks. And we don't have, again, all of the specifics, but it's our understanding that access through older deprecated AltSpace VR clients is being severely restricted. If you haven't updated yet and still have access for some mysterious reason, your avatar is going to appear like a purple robot. Very weird looking purple robot, and everyone that you look at is going to be in a very weird looking purple robot. So that's how you'll know you should be surrounded by purple robots. So it's likely that AltSpace VR will lock down all older versions. So update immediately through your device store, or if you're in 2D, through Steam or the Microsoft Store. And as we learn more about these issues that may impact performance and features here on AltSpace VR, as it becomes more secure and more stable, we'll let you know through our news and updates Discord and right here.
Now, don't forget, News and Updates is celebrating our second anniversary in a couple of months. Mark is taking suggestions on how we can include you in our celebration, so stay tuned for news from News and Updates on how we are going to celebrate this milestone achievement. 2 years bringing you the news and updates and open discussions about what is happening here and around AltSpace VR and our community. Congrats to Mark Laurel and the entire News and Updates team. Now, let's explore some world building news.
Yay! And we have some exciting news. There are 3 exciting things that have happened this week for world builders and to make your life in world building hopefully a little better. First, Unity updated to 2020.4 and then a little beyond with some very sweet new features. However, AltSpace VR's Unity uploader hasn't updated all the way with them. It's always a little bit behind. Okay, sometimes it's a lot behind, but it's getting closer and closer. So they've released the Unity uploader version 2019.4.2 F1. It's an LTS update. Now it's considered a low impact update, so don't freak out. Okay, but we dream of having the 2020 version coming soon, so you can enjoy improved stabilization, improved support for lighting and textures. We love our lighting and textures, and debugging, and so much more. Also, the first-party MRE now is hosted. They're now using SSL encryption. And if you're using one of the Wear a Hat, Where Are We, the helmets, and the other MREs, please immediately update the link that is used in the World Editor for your MRE to use the new URL for SSL security and encryption. So check out the announcements for all the details on the official Altspace VR Discord and on the Unity website for information on Unity.
Now, as a reminder from last week and the recent release of the new avatars, world builders need to know that the height of the avatars is generally the same as the previous avatars. They are a bit bulkier, as in wider depending on the clothing sizes, but the male body is about the same. Also, if you're designing in Unity, the layer for adding light directly onto the avatars is 15. That's layer 15.
And that's so important to know as we start to mess with all of these things and get those colors right in our Unity world building sets. Now, for those who created the MRE hats and those wearables and things, and the helmets, while they still work, the heads and hairdos are larger, thus they stick out of the top of the hats. To be more head fitting, I guess is the right word. Fitting in head fitting styles. I'm not sure. Donna?
You're not, okay, where are we? So Carnivore has been teaching workshops on building with Unity that fill up immediately, even though they aren't featured. Make sure you arrive right on time for a chance to get in and check out the repeat events he does weekly, as well as the videos he posts to the World Building channel on Discord in the World Tours Discord. And don't forget to check the calendar for all of the incredible world building events we have now. There are world tours and classes and workshops on building at all levels. So there are no more excuses to not invent your own world in Altspace VR.
Absolutely. And if you need inspiration, the World Tours happens on Tuesdays with Daisy Shaw and Mr. Yellow, and on Wednesdays with the World Tours team. Now, the World Tours team, you say that 3 times fast, toured hubs the last 2 weeks, including Daisy and Mr. Yellow's amazing hubs. And there was just an incredible experience as world builders. When they're designing their hubs, it's so creative. It's really a chance to showcase in a small way their worlds, and it's such diversity. It's really, really amazing. So that was when we had to divide it up into 2 weeks. It was so much fun. Now, this month's World Tours crowdsource theme was escape, as in adventure and getting lost, not running off on a vacation. Okay, that's something very different. I know it sounds good because of self-isolation, but that's not the kind. We want escape as in tangled up, lost, twisted around mazes, labyrinths, etc. And wow, have you all been incredible with the worlds that you have been suggesting to us? So much so, we're going to do 2 weeks of these tours for all of these confusing worlds. Trust me, I've gotten lost exploring them and testing them so many times. So do check these out on Wednesday, and we're not sure how they're going to be divided, but we're going to have way too much fun getting tangled up and lost as we tour escape themed worlds over the next 2 weeks.
Well, that sounds incredible. Now, it takes all of us, our imagination, our creative and artistic selves, to build these worlds. We love sharing them with you, and we love it more when you share them with us. Join our news and updates Discord. We have a channel called Share Your World in News, just waiting for you to show off your world so we can feature it here.
All right, it is time for some events. I swear we're going to do sound effects in here, Mark. One of these days. Need little drum rolls. All right, as always, there is way too much to do in Altspace VR. Usually the number and variety of events slows down in July and August, but this year we are busier than ever with so many people that are still working from home or in lockdown due to coronavirus. You have to appreciate everyone who's doing that, where there are outbreaks and the risks are still high. We need to take care of ourselves and each other by staying at a distance, staying home when you can, and wearing those gloves and those masks. So just remember, there is very little social distancing here in VR, right? There is no social distancing here. It is all about the social here in VR. So, in fact, you rarely have a chance to be alone in VR right here in Altspace. So, together we are stronger and united, and we're breaking barriers as we make friends from around the world right here in Altspace VR.
Now, we've been promoting the Global HR Summit and other special events and conferences happening here in Altspace VR, and due to a recent alert by Altspace VR staff for corporate events, the organizers have been asked to postpone events. The Global HR Summit has moved to September. It will happen over 3 days instead of 2 now, from September 8th to the 10th, and bringing even more topical discussions on human resources and the job market and industry.
Now, Burning Man, how many of you are fans of Burning Man? Love Burning Man. It is now scheduled for the last 2 weeks of August, so it's also been pushed back. Get ready. It is going to be amazing. If you haven't seen Black Rock City yet, go explore, because it is, they have pushed the boundaries of world building and events in Altspace VR and have a variety of just great artworks and worlds to explore. So stay tuned for more news on that as they adjust their schedule. But we also know that these installations are going to last throughout the entire year. But don't miss out on this amazing festival.
Now, speaking of conferences, Educators in VR Weekly Workshop on Tuesday will feature a panel from the Immersive Learning Research Network, known as iLearn, and their iLearn 2020 conference, which happened at the end of June. They will be sharing the lessons learned about converting a real-world conference to virtual in Virbela and Altspace VR. If you or your business or your association is considering moving virtual, this will be an invaluable panel discussion happening this Tuesday.
And rumors are flying, honestly, that there's going to be a student takeover of the weekly Educators in VR Tuesday workshops all through August. Students in VR is part of a team of youth taking over the United Nations the end of September. And what we're hearing from those little fairies that whisper in our ears, that they're going to do a practice run of a takeover of Educators in VR throughout August. So get ready. We don't know what the students are going to do yet, but you just hang on to your socks. It's going to be amazing. Everything they do just blows our minds, and it could be seriously an exciting month here in Altspace. So watch the calendar.
Now, Rooftop on Mondays is also a great show with fabulous entertainment and special guests, like so many of you already know. Hosted by Henry and Megan, it's traditional style late night show with a beautiful VR twist. Check out their new event space and join the Rooftop crew every Monday.
Now, on Tuesday, we have some people that are new here to Altspace VR. Priscilla Kokoyi and Amy Peck will be presenting on how XR will impact the future of work and our perceptions in immersive space and innovations in, I need a drum roll here, Mark, olfactory senses. They're talking about bringing smells into VR. I don't know about you, but I am not quite ready for that. I know it's coming. I just don't know ready for smelly VR. Anyway, talk about immersive. It gives a whole new context to what immersive means. So check out these two innovators to learn more about their work and their research right here in Altspace on Tuesday.
Now, Educators in VR Cyberbullying Meetup with Erica, known as Zen Panda, is igniting conversations about how we protect ourselves and others online. Zen Panda is a professional therapist and trainer specializing in harm reduction, training, and she's a ranger with Burning Man, a team of therapists, psychologists, and mental health experts who support Burning Man attendees. Her insights and expertise helps our whole community face and deal with the meanness some people bring here, but also the indirect offenses. Sometimes we say things that hurt others without meaning to, and we need to talk about these issues. We're in favor of learning new ways to communicate better with each other. Zen Panda is bringing in experts on the subject in future events as well, so make sure you put down Wednesdays to attend the cyberbullying meetup.
Yeah, she's amazing. I just love her programs. Now, Wednesday is this week is the Meet the Program owner of AltSpace VR, Keegan Law. Now, formerly, this was part of the popular Mingle and Chill. The event now features Keegan sharing her insights, the goals, and history and future of AltSpace VR. It's also her chance to meet with us for 30 minutes to get insights and feedbacks about our experiences here with AltSpace.
Thursday's HR and VR meetup is growing in popularity. It is a unique experience to meet with experts in corporate hiring and human resources. Matt Burns' insights into the changing employment economy and industry helps benefit all of us as we tackle the hard questions about how we support the new normal working from home, how companies keep morale and innovation thriving, and how companies can work with employees and schools to ensure the training and support they need, especially now. Matt Burns is the founder of Bento HR and also the podcast called Thinking Inside the Box. We are lucky to have him and his special guests here every Thursday, so make sure to check it out.
I don't know if you knew this, Donna. On Stevie and Megs have been presenting the popular A Thing to Play show for almost 2 years. It doesn't even seem possible since their first episodes where they went viral immediately with Olive Garden jokes, which became Olive Garden, and spawned a ton of virtual worlds featuring Olive Garden versions of the famous restaurant by Don. It has been a couple of years of true crazy. So please check it out on Thursday. Be prepared for adult humor and a whole lot of childishness going on of equal proportions. We love A Thing in a Place.
That's awesome. Now, Chuck with Health Systems Chat is bringing us a celebration of cognitive science with linguistics, psychology, AI, philosophy, and even neuroscience and anthropology. Let's face it, he tends to bring the whole kitchen and the sink at his fun interactive events. This week on Thursday, he will be exploring Descartes' theories of cogito ergo sum.
Yay!
I think, therefore, I am timed
Well
with
done.
the 42nd annual virtual meeting of the Cognitive Science Society this week.
Well done, Donna. You got the Latin. It's beautiful. All right. The Rocket Party. Yeah, if anybody sees the philosophy talk, that's their theme. I love that. Well, actually, it's a little different, but it's close enough. The Rocket Party has been going for over 3 years here in AltSpace VR, maybe 4. It brings together hundreds of space-loving fans to watch launches of the various rockets and the flights to the International Space Station, to release the satellites in orbit, or to head for the moon, Mars, even beyond our known galaxy. So join them Thursday for this groundbreaking launch of the Mars Perseverance rover, heading to the red planet from Cape Canaveral, Florida. As always, these are tentatively scheduled and may change based upon the launch goes with weather and other issues. So subscribe to the Rocket Party AltSpace VR channel and keep an eye on their Discord channel in the official AltSpace VR Discord for updates.
Now, this all leads us to the amazing channels for events on AltSpace VR. If you find an event like ours that you want to be regularly updated on when they announce a new event, go to the website altvr.com, click channels, and subscribe to the events you enjoy. Make sure you subscribe to the News and Updates channel so you will be notified of our upcoming events so you don't miss a moment of what's going on here in AltSpace VR.
Okay, now, thank you, Donna. Now is, as always, it's time for our conversation. And there's so much going on here in AltSpace, just beyond the events. AltSpace is constantly updating, innovating, bringing us the new avatars and new template worlds. Even when you think nothing is happening, there is stuff going on behind the scenes. So we thought we'd pose the same question that we asked last week of our special guests, Lena and Q for Q. And we want to open up our microphones and hear directly from you to see what your answer might be to this question. If all the rules, restrictions, and limits were off, what would social and event VR platform look like to you? Now, this could be what you want to see here in AltSpace. It could be independent of that. So what would you want to see happening and doing, and what would that look like? So hit the raise hand button that's down in the lower right corner, and let's see what input you have. So Kagan Birdie, is that it? Keegan Birdie? Keegan.
It's Keegan Birdine.
Okay, sorry. All right.
Yeah, it's okay. I feel like if all the rules and restrictions were just gone, it'd all be chaos.
Yes, but we're going for imagination, not VR chat. What would you want it to look like?
I want there to be like combat games that we all play in, and like we communicate with each other in good sportsmanship.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, but I like the playing games together. Definitely love that. Teal Queen, you're up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So, if all the rules and restrictions were and limits were off, I would like to see a VR event where we incorporate non-Euclidean geometry, meaning that experiencing worlds in like fourth dimensions or fifth dimensions, similar to what Timothy Leary talked about originally when he wanted to VR. And maybe we could have like a world where we go into Alice in Wonderland. We could have actors play different things. We could choose different realities, like an immersive theater type of situation. And then let's say like an Alice in Wonderland, we can go into a world where there's non-Euclidean geometry, meaning that we can experience multiple dimensions, such as a fourth dimension or a cube that is a multiple I don't know what's the proper technical name, but we can experiencing spaces that are not usually what we would experience in 3 dimensions. Anyways, I don't know what you guys think about that, but
I think that's brilliant. I mean, after all, Donna, I think they tell us that VR is infinite. I know it isn't, but I'd like to think that it has the potential of it. All right, I love that. Okay, Ancient, I won't say. And then Donna, you're up next. What would you want? So Ancient?
Okay, I think the premise of the question is already a bit off, because I'd be one of them who wouldn't like the rules, restrictions, and limits to be off, because as you have said it, we already do have an example on how it would be, and that's an example I pretty much don't want to see.
Right, but what would it look like? In other words, if your imagination was free to have it be in a certain way, what would you want it to look like? Would more social, less social, more, I don't know. I love what Teal Queen just said about really pushing the limits of virtual worlds.
Actually, as for the world building side, I'm only sort of interested in the technical side, what you can do and what you cannot do. Yeah. For me, it's either like it works or it doesn't work. But as I said, for the social side, I'd rather have the limits in place than being removed.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't want this community to change, as in I don't want it to get wilder or crazier. That wasn't the point. The point was releasing your imagination to see what you might think you'd like it to look like and what you would want to do. Donna, how about you?
I'll be honest, I'm drawing a blank with this one. I'm not sure. Seriously. I think that, I mean, if limits were off, I think it really, front row is a wonderful technology, but it still really restricts who we can communicate with. And so I think having an event with 100 or 150 people being in a single space, restrictions off, that would be my choice to really be able to interact with more people. The other thing is accessibility. And I think that like things like sign language and being able to I've had a few people who literally can't speak, and in the real world literally communicate by sign language, makes it really uncomfortable here. So just different accessibility things like that, I think, comes to mind just off the
I'm with
cuff.
you. Totally with you on that. We need definitely more accessibility here without a doubt. Absolutely. All right, John. Oh, you inspired some people. John Wick, you're up. John? Hi, John. Okay. No John Wick? All right. Wuchi-san, you're on.
Ooh.
Hi.
All right. In terms of accessibility, and when you were
Mhm.
talking about sign language, that made me think about something that the technology is actually currently available, translation software, so
Mhm.
that you kind of a universal translator. So you'd pick what language you speak, and the other person would pick the other language they speak, and then it would translate based on the user profiles what they specify. And I think that it's easy to do that because we already have translators that are not for years. But that's all I wanted to add. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's one of the things many years ago, AltSpace announced that they had the ability for simultaneous translation. And I was so excited about that. And then AltSpace got sold and bought by Microsoft, and I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I live for that to come back. So beautiful. Mike, you're up. Rose tinted dark something. Mike.
Sorry, I had to unmute.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got three small things that kind of all work together. So the first one is a bit of a cheeky nod to previous discussions. Having legs back would be a nice start, but
Oh,
not just
amen.
legs that kind of stand still. Legs you could maybe make use of with controllers. The second one that kind of expands on that is freedom of expression. So obviously at the minute, Unity kind of spoils us a little bit and allows us to bring alt space objects into the worlds, but to go beyond that, so more than just having the standard set of avatar clothes, you could build your own. You could build them pretty much to your own fashion sense, and kind of go down the Sims route. Pretty much change any part of you really. If there's no limits, go the whole hog to make it as realistic or unrealistic as you like. And then to kind of go for the third bit is to expand out on what you can do. So obviously with the MREs, you can add a little bit of pizzazz to your worlds in alt space, but what if you could go further? What if you could make alt space almost a hub out to other experiences? So rather than downloading separate siloed apps, you had the freedom to build an entire experience on top of a world. So say you could have a theme park world, you could build a fully interactive dark ride that people could just come on and experience in one single place and make alt space your world.
I love it. I love how you think. Wonderful. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah. Karen, you're up.
Well, I'd like to see AltSpace. Whoops. I've got 3 dismisses there. I'd like to see AltSpace developers really, and I know they're limited in resources, but we can dream right now, but I would like to see them really develop out the MRE kit so that, right now you got to know coding and it's difficult to get into it. So really develop it out so that it's on a, the whole interface would be available to the general community, more like a drag and drop thing, or like the world editor. I would love to see the AltSpace engineers or Microsoft engineers do that.
Absolutely. Love it. Oh, this is beautiful. All right. If there's anyone else who has a comment, please hit the raise hand button in the lower right corner. For me, I agree with all of you, but accessibility is of absolute paramount for me. I want to make sure that people who are hard of hearing, as well as the mute in some respect, as well as blind and visually impaired, actually VR brings sight to many people who have different forms of visual impairment, because the plane of focus is right up against the eyeball practically, and people who've never been able to see now see. And I mentioned this all the time, and one of the people for the Educators in VR research team actually said that she heard me say that, didn't believe it, and then took her VR. She got an Oculus Go, and she took it to her I think it was 89-year-old grandmother, who has macular degeneration of some form and visual impairment, and she can't see. She's been legally blind for like 15 years. And she put the headset on her, and she could actually see. She said grandma was in absolute tears. We need more of that. I want to make sure that is that beautiful? I just love that. Especially on working on programs and trying to get programs going to bring VR to seniors. And I think reaching those audiences are absolutely critical. In order to do that, you need content worlds and experiences that are okay for them. Big shoot 'em up game is just like great for young people. They thrive in it. That's fine. But for the rest of us, we want something a little more on the peaceful, interactive side. But connecting with people and communicating, I think, absolutely is something that I want to see. And Donna, I just dream of having an event with hundreds of people instead of being, 30 or 40 with front row. I think that would be a beautiful thing to do, and to connect with people. All of this is good.
Yeah, and if we're talking about no limitations, more of a comment. I've said this quite a few times over the last 6 months. I'm not a world builder. Everybody know I'm not. I built one just so I could host events, because I couldn't find a world that was in my mind. So I built the one that was in my mind. But I dream about imagination. I don't have that imagination, so I am dreaming about it for other people. That the world building will move from what we know to imagination. And I think that right now there's so many people that have done so many worlds that replicate the real world in such a significant way. I applaud, like I'm in awe of the skill and the time, the patience and all that it takes for world building. I want to walk into a space that blows my mind, because I never thought of that. Oh my gosh, right? So that's one of the things that I'm waiting for, is those things that are going to come in the future about, like in the 60s and the 70s, where they imagined what it would look like in the year 2000, right? And they tried to visualize what that might be. Trying to visualize now what our future is. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't even know how to say it. I just know that that's one of the things that I hope and that breaks free is the imagination, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say.
Round of applause for that comment. Fantastic. That is what we need. And that's what VR already starts to do, but we're just surface of the onion, man. We're just surface of the onion. Absolutely. Beautifully said, Donna, as usual. All right. So thank you, everyone, for your comments, for always for your input. We just adore you so much. And there is so much that is going on here, but it is time to round it all up. Excuse me, just a minute. All right. So remember, the conversation does not stop here in AltSpace VR. Discord is our home base for our community outside of AltSpace VR, not just for the news and updates, but for AltSpace VR and for all the different groups and events and activities that are happening here. So we invite you to join the news and updates Discord to keep up with the news, the activities, everything you want to know about what's going on in the VR industry and is happening here to share your world, your news, your events, and the updates that may end up in our show. So join us at discord.me/news updates.
Now we live stream the news onto YouTube every week, and you can catch up with past episodes to learn more about how AltSpace VR works and what's going on in the community. We've also added the AltSpace VR announcements feed to our news and updates Discord server, so you won't miss a minute of the news.
Not a chance, and we are here to keep you updated on the news in AltSpace, so please tell a friend and share our Discord and YouTube channels so others can keep up with the news in and around AltSpace.
If you would like to volunteer to help us out, we would love it. We do this for you, but we also need your help. We need people to help us film and live stream the news. We need people to supply us with photos and news about the events and activities that are happening around AltSpace VR. We need writers and editors and moderators and backup hosts. So if you'd like to help us out, let us know either on the Discord server or talk to one of us after the show.
Yay, and we're going to hang around after the news to answer your questions and talk to you about what you're doing in AltSpace VR. So stick around, as we'd love to chat with you. Thanks to all of our news and updates, volunteers, moderators that help us make this event a success. So thank you. And always, as with these uncertain times, be safe out there wherever you are in the world. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Donna. Woo! Thanks, Mark.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Woo!